Um, I don't look so great right now. I don't know if it's the lighting or just going out for my first walk in 10 days took it all out of me, but I look kind of ghostly right now, huh? Still breathing though. I'm gonna peel a carrot. We're gonna chop up some carrots. We're gonna use up our cooked onions and garlic, and I bought some pork liver. I don't know why. I was just walking around in grocery stores and the pork liver caught my eye and my body was like, feed me liver. And I was like, but why? And I looped around the entire store, checked out the produce prices. The prices on yogurt has doubled. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's kind of terrifying. But I walked around the store and then I went back to the pork liver and I stared at it. I also stared at the bag of chicken bones and I was like, do I want more chicken bones? And my body was like, no, you don't. Go back to the pork liver. So I went back to the pork liver and I bought a piece of pork liver. So, carrots first. Yes, 2 lives in one day because this is my life now. Oh, oh, oh. Sorry. Just got really excited. We should run the dishwasher now. It is full. And Aaron is doing okay, all things considered. I actually just dropped off some goodies with him. Brought him 2 cupcakes, a few apples, a couple of little tiny mandarins. Gave him some of the sourdough bread that I got baked yesterday, and gave him back some of the teas that he gave me. Asked him what he wanted, and he said banana, so I grabbed a bunch of bananas, and he seems alive, so he's okay. And we'll just ride it out, guys. I think everybody's getting COVID now. So yes, now I'm negative and he's positive. He got it like 2 days ago, I think. I mean, he delivered me a lot of goodie packages, so goes both ways, you know? Whoever needs a goodie package and is close enough to me. If it's really compostable, I should be able to tear it. So, good. Yeah, they kind of do look like peppermints, for real. So do you think I should compost this? So there's 3 layers to this packaging. There's the paper layer, then there's the foil layer, and then there's this like plastic layer. I don't want to put it in my compost. It just doesn't feel like it belongs in there. You think so? Cellulose can look like this? I'm just so I have many questions. I'm tossing it. Executive decision. So anyway, here's the little packs. And we'll pop one in there. See how it works. Okay? We'll do a little rinsing. We'll put it on the 1-hour cycle and we'll start it. There we go. Blue Land dishwasher tablets. Can someone give an applause to the carrot? Yes, she sure is a beauty. She sure is. Have I gotten my senses back yet? You know, hard to say. Have I ever had my senses? Not sure, honestly. No, I like my fiber. It's great. welcome to the snacking life. I'm so glad you have discovered snacking for the first time in your life. Yes, I am eating microplastics with that grinder. No doubt about it. I am going to rinse this liver. It is very bloody. The liver was $1.69 per pound. I asked him for the smallest liver. This one cost me $1.22, which is about as much as a cup of yogurt costs, I discovered today. Everything is so expensive, y'all. I don't know how we're going to continue living. It's like every time I go out, everything just keeps getting more and more expensive. I don't get it. Feels like an overgrown goldfish in a bag. shiny. This is probably what our liver looks like, guys. Because pigs apparently have a lot of organs, and their skin makeup is very similar to humans. I've actually never cooked whole liver like this, or like at all. I've always loved eating liver, but this might or might not be the first or second time in my life ever that I'm buying it and cooking it. Burning my carrots. I'm burning my carrots, and I should open my window. You probably should boil it beforehand, but I am not. And it's probably wrong. But you know what? That's fine. We have our roasted onions and we have our garlic. Still smells great. Fantastic. Ooh, cumin! Cumin! Cumin is such a great idea. Thank you. My favorite ever cumin. Hell yeah! And you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of ground coriander in there as well because I love cumin and coriander together. And coriander goes really well with carrots too. And you say paprika? Sure. Let's do it. Thank you for cooking along. that's fun. I'm going to hold off on turmeric. I don't want too much going on, and I feel like turmeric adds a little bit too much earthiness sometimes, and since the liver is already a little bit earthy, I'd rather leave that out for now. Damn, I really did burn some of those carrots real bad, huh? Whoopsies. My bad. Another reason why you should not multitask. Apparently, burnt stuff is very good for compost. Happy Gotcha Day! So my biggest mistake is not cutting the pieces evenly in terms of thickness. So most of them are cooked now, but there's a few that I think are a little under. And you can feel it because some are very soft and others are turning rubbery. So I'm going to try to move them around to the hotter spots and shuffle them. But overall, I think we're done. Next up, I'm finally going to cook that cabbage like I said I would. I'm going to transfer this pork liver out And I'm going to use the same pan because it has all that delicious fond. And I'm going to chop up our cabbage, throw them in there, add a little bit of chicken soup, and call it a day. I don't know if I've ever had lamb liver. I don't really want to blend it. I don't like the texture of pate. The flavor of liver in the texture of pate is a little too much. It's just like very heavy mush, and I don't like extremely fatty mush. There's something, I don't know. I don't know. Cumin is good, guys. Cumin is good. MSG. Still a little pink inside. Pretty tender. Very creamy. I mean, I like liver. It's not for everyone. I get it. Wow, I just mopped floors yesterday and it is greasy and slippery. This floor is kind of dangerous for a kitchen, actually. It's so glossy that any sort of grease on the floor will lead to massive slip risks. I definitely do like the material of my last kitchen better, although this, I guess, looks more impressive in person because it's so shiny, but definitely a slipping hazard. Alright, I'm going to try a bite with carrot and liver. Maybe like a burnt carrot? Yeah, give me a burnt carrot. And a piece of onion too. Yeah. Get her on there. Kitchen rook sounds like a disgusting thing that I'm going to have to throw away after a month max. How do you even clean a kitchen rug? Oh my god. Yo. Holy shit. Yeah, that last bit of salt did it. The carrots are sweet and salty. The onions are nice and sweet and salty and slightly gummy. Ooh, that's so good. Ooh, I'm so happy that we made this. Well, that I made it and that you're watching me eat it. Wow. So yes, the phrase, honor your hunger. is said in many videos by this therapist that I follow on Instagram who specializes in binge eating disorder. Her handle is It's Ryan Nicole, and I've found her content very helpful in kind of reframing my own relationship with food. But yes, a recurring phrase that she says is honor your hunger. Because when you don't honor your hunger, that tends to lead to restrictive thinking cycles that land you in binges. So I'm pretty glad that I honored my hunger, like spiritual hunger in a sense. My body said, give me liver, and I complied. And now we are enjoying this fantastical, salty liver feast. And it is very satisfying. Thank you to whoever recommended cumin. This is making the liver such a savory little delight. I would say that my taste is still not back fully. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. Because there's nothing I can do about it. But I certainly can smell and taste much better than I used to from earlier on in my illness. Why am I missing all of these lids? How am I supposed to use them? Aaron is currently doing okay. His symptoms are not too bad. Guys, look, my starter is starting to get bubbly. You can't see because we're still on potato resolution, but like you can make out bigger bubbles, I think, slightly on screen. Maybe I will make another dough. Am I anemic? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, what would you describe the taste like? Um, it has the flavor of venison, beef, and buffalo combined together, but the texture is like a medium tofu crossed with softened cream cheese. Does that make sense? It has a slight bitter sweet tone at the end of your chew, much in the same way that like licorice can taste. But I did smack this full of cumin, so that is probably affecting this current flavor profile a little bit. You just have to season it to your liking, you know? Like with all things. People complain about tofu being bland. Like, guess what? Mozzarella is kind of bland too. You just gotta season it and pair it with things you like. Which is why I paired it with onions and carrots, because they're sweet. So they kind of balance out that bitter tone. Fred hates the new place. That's why he's not here. He hates this new place. Okay. Soup time. Fred is staying in Woodside for now. He loves it there. And honestly, I think he loves Aaron more. So, Aaron is the default parent now. The dynamic with Fred is really funny because it actually just brought up a memory of me and mom and dad, where dad was always the hands-off parent and mom was always obviously very protective of me and hands-on. And I used to hate hanging out with mom because she used to be so cloying. And when I was young, like in elementary school, dad was the default parent that I would go to and tell everything and be close to. And at the time, my mom was like, I don't understand. Your dad doesn't do shit. Like, he's so hands off. And I'm sure my mom was confused as fuck, too, because she, like, did so much for me, and I'm over here just, like, being a daddy's girl. But sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes the people you love don't love you back the way you want to be loved. And you know what? That's okay too. That's a lot of chicken fat. Holy shit. Look at that thick layer. Oh, that chicken umami smell is so good. Damn, girl. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. Chicken is the best meat. Like, I understand pork is the best meat, But chicken is the animal that if I had to pick an animal to eat, only one animal for the rest of my life, I would pick the chicken. Pork is extremely delicious and extremely versatile, but there is just something about chicken that I find unbeatable, even by pork. And I think if you asked me this question like 2 years ago, I would have been like, this crazy bitch. No, pork is the king of meats, but no, chicken. Chicken. I can't wait to use up this turmeric chicken fat. I would consider fish meat, but I would say pescatarians probably don't. I think anything that used to live and has a face is meat. So anything a vegetarian wouldn't eat is considered meat to me in my brain. I think it also has to do with the linguistics of growing up Chinese. We call every single type of flesh the animal name plus meat at the end of their name. So beef would be cow meat in Chinese, 牛肉. Chicken would be chicken meat, 鸡肉. Rabbit would be rabbit meat, 兔肉. It's ro. Everything is ro. Even fish is 鱼肉. So oysters don't have faces, which is actually why some vegetarians eat them, I think. Is it true? I think they also don't have a central nervous system. What kind of fish, though? You can't have all fish. Fair. Like, that's like me saying I like birds. I can have duck and chicken and, I don't know, pigeon, whatever other, turkey, whatever other. You gotta pick a fish. What's your favorite fish? Or at least you have to, like, pick the freshwater versus the ocean fish. You can't have all of them. Halibut, ugh, you can have all of it, Sandy. Sea bass is okay. All right, that's fancy. That's okay. I'm feeling black salt in this. And I like to cook my cabbage until it is like almost cream. So I'm basically gonna let this chicken stock just boil. And look, we still have cabbage. Not gonna lie, I do think I still have like COVID fatigue. I I think normally I would not be sitting 45 minutes into a stream. Can I make egg rolls with the leftover cabbage? No, because I don't have egg roll wrappers. Yeah, me tired. My kidneys feel like they're tired too, which is not a great sign. Bye, have a great time making dumpling dough. What else can I eat? I hope that fatigue goes away. I don't know though. I'm gonna grab some water, BRB. Do y'all remember the good old days when Ajax powder cleaner used to be like 79 to 99 cents for that tall container? And now everywhere I look, it's like $2.29 to even $4. I've seen it sell for $4. I can't believe it. Which do I like better, lobster or crab? Crab all the way. I don't like lobster. And now I'm just like, well, if that shit is so expensive, maybe I should just buy baking soda and clean with it instead because it's probably healthier, right? And then, bam, baking soda is like baseline 179 cents a pound. Before, I used to be able to find deals for like 59 cents for a box. What happened? It's like we came out of 2.5 years of lockdown and it's like a whole different economy. God. Cheap things are cheap for a reason. That sucks though. Yikes. We are rich in sound, if not smell. I don't want my own kids. You must be new here. We love to blame everything on other people, but sometimes we just fuck things up ourselves. Not everything has to do with the Ukrainian war. Random, but any advice for grad school apps? Nope, never looked into higher education beyond college. Good luck, my dear. I really enjoy just being able to sit and read chat. Yes, it would have been great with chickpeas. I might cook some lentils with my remaining chicken stock. That sounds really good. I think we collectively fucked it up by buying into the system of greed. Bad news, everyone. I have oversalted. And now I must add more vegetables in to correct my mistakes. Oh, it's a whole different pan now. We took out the liver and the onions. We put in cabbage and chicken stock. So it's just cabbage cooking in chicken stock. And I oversalted it, so I just put in some raw cabbage to balance out. And I just put some raw cabbage in my bowl to balance that out. I don't know if there will be an evening live. I think it all depends on how manic and chaotic I feel. I took a walk outside, bought some liver, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's go on live again and cook this liver. Because I don't think there's enough liver representation out there, you know. People cook chicken so many times. Nobody cooks liver on YouTube. We should do a hashtag liver challenge. Many people find liver to be disgusting. Okay, sure. Let's be honest. How many people actually like the taste of coffee without sugar and milk? And you always liked bitter bean soup? Y'all are weirdos. Okay, see? I'm okay with espresso because it's concentrated and creamy. But I can't do like Americano style watered down shit. Two Americanos and an espresso. That's a lot of coffee. I would die from anxiety. I don't know if I'm just being a weirdo, but the sound of the dishwasher makes me feel less alone. I never really cooked for my mom. I would bring her stuff that I cooked, but I don't think I especially ever cooked a meal for her. If I were a cat, I would go crazy for boiled chicken liver too. Are we talking about learning German? I have a fantasy that I'm going to learn German, but I know for sure I can't. It sounds like a terrifyingly hard language to learn. But I feel like out of all the books and movies out there, like foreign films, so to speak, I get drawn to German stuff more than other country stuff. Except I think I like French philosophy more. Is that weird? Good lunch. German grammar is like, who hurt you? I love accidentally summoning demons. It's my favorite pastime. My neighbors seem kind and friendly for the most part. There is one really annoying kid on my floor. Like, without fail, almost every time I hear him out, he is screaming his head off. But otherwise, no. I was telling my uncle and aunt this morning that I used to get really annoyed and bothered when I see kids throwing a fit and just acting out. But now, when I hear it and when I see it, my brain immediately goes to, oh, thank God that's not my child. And praise be that I don't have to deal with that shit at home. So I carry with me a heart of gratitude for being childless. Every instance is a reminder of how blessed I am. It's true. We do grow to tolerate a lot of things. Which is why now I'm not so bothered. Like, was I kind of scared and upset that I couldn't smell and taste things when I first got COVID? Yeah. But then my brain was like, you will just adjust. Like, your life is not going to be the same if it never comes back, but you will adjust. And I think I owe a great part of that to my mom passing away and having to reckon with the fact that, like, yeah, like Gina said, we don't have a choice. We all just keep on living until one day we don't. That's the fact of it. Are you done? I think the dishwasher's done. Steamy. Steamy. I just clicked the cancel drain. I don't know if it does anything, but I always press it. Let me read you a lunchtime story before I leave. This is one of two books that I kept from my college days when I cleaned out Mom's house. The Zizek one is one. This is the second one. Religion and Nothingness by K.G. Nishitani. Let me find a good confusing one. I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm just going to start reading because this book is very extensive. And keep in mind that this book is called Religion and Nothingness. This is from a chapter called The Personal and Impersonal. It is on page 67. We have already noted how contemporary existentialism subjectifies nihility by making it the field of the ecstasy of self-existence. As a result, nihility is shifted to the side of the subject itself, and the freedom or autonomy of the subject is said to be a function of existence, stepping over itself into the midst of nihility. In contemporary theology, however, nihility besides on the side of divine will, so that creature existence is seen merely as existence, without any ecstasy into nihility. As a result, even though one may speak of a freedom or independence in such an existence, these things do not have their root hold within the subject itself. They end up, in the final analysis, as no more than an apparent freedom and the illusory appearance of an independence. To the extent that a nihility belonging to the divine will is their ground, neither freedom nor independence are actually real. On this view, accordingly, man cannot truly be said to be a reality standing over against God, that is, not God himself, but itself over against God. In such an approach, it seems to me, the questions of human subjectivization and confrontation with God have not really been thought through radically enough. Does that make any sense? I lost 30 of you. Every time I go into reading time, we lose people. You're already lost? Okay, well, get ready to sleepy time more. The idea of man as person is without doubt the highest conception of man yet to appear. The same may be said of the idea of God as person. Once the awareness of subjectivity had been established in modern times, the notion of man as a personal being became practically self-evident. But is the way of thinking about person that has so far prevailed really the only possible way of thinking about person? Put simply, until now, the person has been viewed from the standpoint of the person itself. It has been a person-centered view of person. In the modern period, as we see for instance with Descartes, even the ontologically more basic ego was viewed from the ego-centered perspective of the ego itself and grasped from the standpoint of the ego cogito. It has been the same with person, inasmuch as ego and person from the very outset entail inward self-reflection, without which they cannot come into being as ego and person. It is only natural that this kind of self-eminent self-prehension should come about. So long as the need for a more elemental mode of reflection does not arise, people automatically stay within this mode of grasping ego and person. The person-centered prehension of person, however, is by no means self-evident. It stems from a bias rooted deep within the self-consciousness of man. More fundamentally, the ego-centered grasp and interpretation of ego, which we find in modern man, is no less of a bias and hardly as self-evident as it is assumed to be. These biases signal a confinement of self-being to the perspective of self-eminence from which man prehends his own egoity and personality, a confinement that inevitably ushers in the narcissistic mode of grasping the self, wherein the self gets caught up in itself. Lost 20 more of you. The person is rather a phenomenon that appears out of what cannot itself be called personal and does not entail any confinement of self-being. In referring to person as a phenomenon, I do not mean to contrast it with the thing in itself as Kant might. It would be a mistake here to think that there is some thing in itself subsisting apart from the phenomenon, or that this thing in itself makes its appearance in some phenomenon. The interpretation of person as phenomenon does not make it a temporary exterior that can be donned and doffed at will. To think of person in that way is to lose sight of the subjective element in the personal, which engages the self in a process of unlimited self-determination. Are you lost yet? I think that's kind of the point. The ancient concept of persona originally carried the meaning of such a mask. When I say that person is a phenomenon, however, I do not wish to imply that there is some other thing behind personal being, like an actor behind a mask. Person is an appearance with nothing at all behind it to make an appearance. That is to say, nothing at all is what is behind person. Complete nothingness, not one single thing, occupies the position behind person. While this complete nothingness is wholly other than person and means the absolute negation of person, it is not some thing or some entity different from person. It brings into being the thing called person and becomes one with it. Accordingly, it is inaccurate to say that complete nothingness is behind person. Nothingness is not a thing that is nothingness. Or again, to speak of nothingness as standing behind person does not imply a duality between nothingness and person. In describing this nothingness as something wholly other, we do not mean that there is actually something that is wholly other. Rather, true nothingness means that there is no thing that is nothingness. And this is absolute nothingness. God is the void. Indeed, Karen. Nothingness is generally forced into a relationship with being and made to serve as its negation, leading to its conception as something that is nothingness because it is not being. This seems to be especially evident in Western thought, even in the nihility of nihilism. But insofar as one stops here, nothingness remains a mere concept, a nothingness only in thought. Absolute nothingness, wherein even that is negated, is not possible as a nothingness that is thought, but only as a nothingness that is lived. It was remarked above that behind person there is nothing at all, that is, that nothing at all is what stands behind person. But this assertion does not come about as a conceptual conversion, only as an existential conversion away from the mode of being of person-centered person. Granted, what we have said about the person-centered self-prehension of person as being intertwined with the very essence and realization of the personal, the negation of person-centeredness must amount to an existential self-negation of man as person. The shift of man as person from person-centered self-prehension to self-revelation as the manifestation of absolute nothingness requires an existential conversion, a change of heart within man itself. Lost 50 of you. So, a change of heart within man himself. an existential conversion. A nothingness that is lived. Not a thought, but lived. I think when I was in school, I only read like 20 pages of this book. Let's see some of the things that I underlined when I was in college 12 years ago. I wrote on the margin, Heidegger. All attachment is negated. Both the subject and the way in which things appear as objects of attachment are emptied. Everything is now truly empty, and this means that all things make themselves present here and now, just as they are in their original reality. They present themselves in their suchness, their tathata. This is non-attachment. Only absolute emptiness is the true no ground. Here, all things, from a flower or a stone to stellar nebulae and galactic systems, and even life and death themselves, become present as bottomless realities. And in the margin of that, I wrote, whoa, period. What a cutie. She was cute. In the margin, I wrote, true nihilism is not an obligation or forced, has to be a genuine occurrence, and the non-ego is a prerequisite. I wrote, a star must lose self-consciousness. And the part that I underlined, as we noted before, so long as we maintain the standpoint of self-consciousness, the tendency to take ourselves as objects remains, no matter how much we stress subjectivity. Sartre tells us that he calls his existentialism a humanism, because when a man chooses existence for his self, he chooses at the same time an image of what he believes man ought to be. In choosing himself, he is thereby at the same time a legislator for the whole of mankind. And then I wrote in the margin, also a kind of collectiveness, a model of man. And there we have it. Notes from the brain of June in 2010. You are having an existential problem? Oh, wonderful. All right, y'all. Take care. And I'm going to continue eating my cabbage and liver. And you go be free. Free from the Heideggers and the Nishitanis and the Zizeks. Free from man and society, free from yourself, free from nothingness, nothingness as thought. May you find liberation in overly salted cabbage.